We are live. You already know who it is. My name is Mike Kyle, aka the Fantasy Vulture. I have over a decade worth of fantasy football experience and have continuously competed for fantasy championships over the course of the past 6 seasons. Let's make it 7 in 2020. But enough of me. I'm here for you. On today's episode of the FB Show, we are going to go right into our Week 12 game recaps, breaking down every single Week 12 matchup, all through the lens of fantasy football. So if you're excited for this video, be sure to hit that like button down below like an open receiver downfield. Also, smash that subscribe button like a power running back up the middle so you never miss a video from me. And last but not least, you can follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture. The content I am going to be producing on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok over the course of the next 5 weeks is going to be astronomical, and I'm so excited to share what I have in store for all of you guys as we approach the playoffs and, of course, championship season, which I hope as many of you win championships this year as physically possible. But let's dive right into Week 12. The Las Vegas Raiders got mollywopped by the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta by a final score of 43-6. The Raiders now lose 2 straight games, dating back to the Chiefs game last week. They fall to 6-5, and the Falcons improve to 4-7. Derek Carr, my man, what are you doing? 22 of 34 for 215 passing yards and 4 turnovers. Josh Jacobs, a dud game as well. 7 carries, caught 3 passes for 44 total yards and a fumble. Nelson Aguilar, 6 targets, 5 receptions for 54 yards. And Darren Waller, 4 receptions, 7 targets, 23 yards. If you're the Raiders, just burn this game, throw it away. It didn't happen. On to the next one. And then going over to the Falcons side of the ball, Julio Jones and Todd Gurley both did not play. Julio obviously has that reoccurring hamstring issue, and Todd Gurley had a knee injury. I believe that was unrelated to the arthritis that he has. Matt Ryan in this ball game, 22 of 39 completions, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as an interception. Ito Smith was the lead back in this game, not Brian Hill. 12 carries. Caught 4 of 5 targets for 75 total yards and a touchdown. Calvin Ridley doing Calvin Ridley things, 50 yards, 1 touchdown, catching 6 of 9 targets. And then Hayden Hurst turned in a fine game, all things considered. He had 8 targets, so you'd love to see him have more than 48 yards. He caught 4 passes, and without Julio, you would love to see Hurst be a little bit more productive with his snaps and his targets. So a few things that I want to talk about here real quick. First off, again, for Vegas, burn it. If you own Josh Jacobs, if you own Darren Waller, don't worry about it. Just flush it from your head. This game did not exist. I want to talk about Nelson Aguilar real quick. He saw 6 targets. One of my big concerns with him has been if you aren't getting into the end zone, you aren't going to have a great fantasy game. And we saw that yet again. In half-point formats, he put up 7.9, and it's just that's just not going to get it done when you are looking for double digits. It's that's the thing, right? And half point, basically your baseline is 10 fantasy points. That has to be your baseline. Anything under that is pretty much a dud, all things considered. So that's what we've seen from Aguilar, outside of the fact when he gets a touchdown, right? That touchdown really does make up all the difference. And I don't think I can predict when Derek Carr is going to have a good game, when Derek Carr is going to have a bad game, or who the touchdown distribution is going to go to. So with that being said, Nelson Aguilar, I was pretty much already out before, but this game really does prove and cement that for me. In a matchup that was a dream scenario against this Atlanta defense, a defense that has given up over 18 points per game, or over 18 points to the quarterback position every single week. Matt Stafford was actually the lowest scoring quarterback against them at 18. Derek Carr had negative 0.2 in my scoring format. You just can't rely on him in that way, right? Derek Carr's made some improvements this year. In fact, they've been highlighted multiple times on my Twitter timeline. But when you look at his production, it really is a bit all over the place. He started off real hot, and then since the bye week, he really has cooled down. Before the bye in week 6, you're looking at an average of about 21 points per game, which really was incredible. And then you look at the games since the bye. 21, 12, 14, 8, 24, and then negative 0.2. Derek Carr, man, I don't know what happened, but you had a dream matchup here against the Falcons, and you really did squander it. I know Carr was a hot streaming option throughout this week, and he really did just kill a lot of people. And that stinks when it's week 12 and we need wins to make our way into the fantasy playoffs. Going over to the Falcons now, Matt Ryan is low-key in the same boat as Derek Carr here. Trying to predict the good Matt Ryan games has been a bit difficult, right? He's had great matchups essentially all season long and hasn't come through in the way that you would like him to, despite the talent and the weapons that he has had. I know one of the things that Jason Moore has been saying quite a bit is that the correlation between good Matt Ryan games is pretty much solely dependent on if Julio Jones is active. I'm not sure how much I buy into that, just because I do believe that Matt Ryan has other weapons around him to where if Julio isn't playing, like, that doesn't mean sit Matt Ryan. But in a matchup like this versus the Raiders, like, it's the exact same thing. Both these teams had the opportunity for this game to become an offensive slugfest because of how bad their defenses are, and with the weapons on offense that could easily carve each other up. So Matt Ryan coming here and only putting up 14 fantasy points for you really was disappointing. I don't care if Julio Jones is active or not. We saw Ito Smith get the majority of the work here without Todd Gurley. Like, that is something to note because we all thought it would be Brian Hill, and it turns out it was Ito Smith. Ito Smith is the one that got into the end zone. He got more targets. He had one less carry. So that really is just something to consider moving forward. I don't think Gurley's going to miss any more time, to be honest. But if he does, it's going to be Ito Smith over Brian Hill. Just keep that locked in the back of your head. Calvin Ridley's great. Hayden Hurst, I don't know what you do with Hayden Hurst anymore. We know that there's been, that's the thing. If you go through his targets, it's 7, 7, 7, 8, 8. Like, he gets targets. He's just not doing anything with them. Upcoming is the Saints and the Chargers before he rounds out with the Bucks, Kansas City, and Tampa again. So basically, the Falcons' schedule the rest of the way is offensive juggernaut, offensive juggernaut, offensive juggernaut. And with that being said, you could probably keep playing Hayden Hurst because of that, because of the fact that they're going to need to put points up on the board in order to win, and Hurst just has touchdown potential every single matchup, even if he hasn't gotten in the end zone as often as we would have liked to see during the early parts of this year. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button down below, like an open receiver downfield. Also, smash that subscribe button like a power running back up the middle so you never miss a video from me. Last but not least, you can follow me on all social media platforms at FF Vulture. Again, the content that is going to be coming out is insane. I'm so excited to show you guys what I have in store. And last but not least, remember, people come and go, but fantasy championships are forever, and I will see you in the next video.